will never find somebody who has the 100% of every job skill that you're looking for. So it's identifying some of the skills that you think may need to be improved. Now, some of that is through dialogue with your employee, but also it could just be some key, project management skills or IT skills, depending on the role, that you actually just make sure you have organised that training for the individual so that they can actually proceed. Okay, I think probably the first thing, I'm very aware of this because this is something I went through myself in other organisations, is this the whole theory of psychological contract. And the theory is kind of built on, if you arrive to the reception the day that you are actually meant to commence work and nobody knows you're meant to be there, what does that say to you from an organisation? Have they bought into you, and then you will buy into them? Because if they don't even recognise the fact you're meant to be there, it almost tells you then, what is your induction going to be like? What sort of training plan have you got? And then have they put any thought into the fact that you're actually arriving to the company? So I think to kind of build positive perceptions, it's very much that engagement even pre-start date. So actually, I'll just use us as an example within the Cooperative Education Careers Division. So we would have, not very often, but when we do have hires, specifically actually students that we would take on from placement. So once we have made the offer, then we would actually give them an example of our SAR document, right, which is our quality report, in relation to give them a bit more feedback about what we do as an organisation. And we constantly kind of tie in with them through that kind of lead up to when they're starting, around start day, the appropriate dress code, if they want to come in and do just a quick visit again to kind of get their sense of what they'll be doing. But also then we have a very strong training program, both from the initial 5 days, which is their induction, and it's not the overall university induction, it's our own induction within our division around what they'll be doing, their training, that kind of buddy training that we would organise for them, the whole introduction to all the staff, to our policies, procedures. It most certainly is having a table and a chair and a computer, and actually one of the key things that I found myself is that making sure that their accounts were actually up and running the moment that they were, it mean almost having them ready the week before, so that they're not coming in and they can't access any systems because they don't have an account and there's none of these approvals. So it's just been very much around from the initial element of a hire starting, being ready and knowing they're coming, and the team knowing they're coming, and the team being very aware of what their role will be, what supports they will need, but also where they're going to be specifically targeting from their job spec. I think one of the other ones around the perception, and to make sure that they buy in, is almost not setting too high a target in the first 3 months, because you do need them to bed down. There's within every organisation there's a real culture of, and that's important. You can never change anything till you understand where you're working. And where I've seen people possibly fail is that, first week in, next thing they're making lots of suggestions without understanding why something is like that, because while there's lots of opportunities to improve, you have to understand why something is like that, because that could be political, it could be cost, it could be whatever. You just need to understand that. So letting them get that, what you call a comfort in observing and then making recommendations and then driving the improvements, but also that kind of builds into their training then as well, to understand the culture of the organisation.